Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio station, the station that leaves no listener behind, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. There's really no Streaker, but it rhymes with Spreaker. And I'm so happy that you're here today. It is a holiday special, and I couldn't think of a better co-host to bring in to mark that and to talk about all kinds of different things that are related to holidays. Please welcome back to my show, my doctor's in the house co-host. She's a veteran. She's an OBGYN. She's a poet. She's a writer. She's a singer. She's a songwriter. She's a playwright. She's a cook. She's a mom. I think I almost got them all there, didn't I?
Yeah, you did them, yeah.
Please welcome Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
Oh, the one you missed? I'm a doctor.
I did. You're a what?
OBGYN.
I did that.
You did that one? Okay.
I did that. That was the second one. That was the second one. And whoever's, I see eyeballs rolling in, we just got a finger on that one. That is not that finger, but this finger. You know, Dr. Tiffanie, I almost put the wrong finger up on Straight Talk, by accident. But anyways, so glad that you're here. So glad that we get to do holiday talk. And I just do love this season of joy. And we're going to start with holiday breakfast, taking a bite of my holiday breakfast sandwich, which is top of the bun, things that we're grateful for outside of ourselves, bottom of the bun, things that we're grateful for inside of ourselves, which is also called appreciation. And Dr. Tiffanie, what are you grateful for on the top of the bun?
The top of the bun, I am grateful that tomorrow is Christmas and today is Christmas Eve, and I get to spend time with my family, because spending time with family and friends, it just enriches your spirit and it just makes you happy, or at least it makes me happy.
Yes, and I am grateful that I get to wear my I'm a present a dress today. I always save it for Christmas Eve, and that Dr. Tiffanie and I match, and we did not try. We still have yet to say, what are you wearing? And every single time we match just fine. So I think that's pretty cool.
And that's funny because I'm wearing my Santa's favorite. I'm going to lift up a little bit so you can see my Santa's favorite.
Yeah. Well, I walk in and I go, I know I'm a gift. Because I'm a little bit crazy. But I am grateful that I got an invitation from my beautiful co-host to join her on Christmas Day with her family and go, because I've been, yammering for her peach cobbler. So she kindly invited me, and I get to see a what do you call it? A faction
of the family.
A faction of the family. Those of you who were on my social saw the partying that was going on when I went to her 50th party that she invited me to. And there were a lot of people, and I had no clue that they were pretty much all family except me. I mean, there were a few maybe, but most of them were family. She got a big family.
And that was just a small portion. I have over 30 first cousins, because my mother was one of 12 children and my father was one of 9. So my family believed in being fruitful and multiplying. in the biblical sense. So when I say I have a huge family, it is really huge. And for us to have a family reunion, it's really nothing to have a couple hundred people there.
Yeah, that's like so crazy to me. Not it doesn't even fathom. We just lost we didn't lose. He went back into love my father's younger brother, and so now all the pays on my father's side and all the towels. Well, that's not true. There's still some towels on my mother, but the pay lineage is getting shrunk. So my little nephew Andrew, I think, is one of the last pays.
Mhm.
That's not true. I'll have to do a tree to figure it out. But see, the siren means that's not correct. But I am grateful for first responders who, when there are emergencies, my bonus mom went back into the hospital, and she the good news is she's out of ICU. She has sepsis and MRSA, 92, and just a breath of peace and comfort to all my sisters who are here. That's a silver lining, and as we just celebrate just how rich her life has been and still is, and just knowing that everything's going to be okay no matter what. So I'm affirming that one.
Awesome. And I am grateful that on Sunday I had a chance to get together with another one of the factions of the family, and some other pieces of the family. And we had a pre-Kwanzaa celebration, and it was very nice. We dressed in all white because it wasn't the actual Kwanzaa. And we'll talk a little bit about Kwanzaa because it
Yes,
actually starts
please.
the day after Christmas.
Yes.
But we
Yes.
had a pre-Kwanzaa celebration, and it was fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. I am grateful. I had it and it just went like that. I'm grateful that we live in a country that gets to choose how they celebrate the holidays. And there are a lot of different holidays. And that's why we say happy holidays. And for all those who are mad, and there are quite a few, that we don't say Merry Christmas. I mean, we say Merry Christmas, but we also say Happy Holidays as a means of respecting diversity when it comes to the holidays. And I'm grateful that I get to do work as a diversity consultant to promote inclusivity.
It's funny because when I walk past people, I'll say Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy New Year. I just kind of run the list so that they don't get a generic greeting. I try to name all the holidays that are predominant holidays to try to make them feel special for whatever it is I think that they might be celebrating, be it Hanukkah, be it Kwanzaa, be it Christmas, be it New Year's. If you don't want to celebrate any of the aforementioned, I want you to have a happy holiday season.
Mm-hmm. What's the reaction?
They look at me with like bright eye, like, oh, wow, thank you. And then they begin to smile.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. For me, Happy Holidays is a shortened version, as I do a drive-by greeting.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have time on my hands, so I don't mind.
You are better, and I'll go to the bottom of the button. Things that we're good at, and the reason why I do this is because I want you to fall asleep tonight thinking about how wonderful you are. Not perfect, but wonderful most of the time, so that you sleep better. And I believe that that is the foundation of good mental health. So that's why we're going to the bottom of the bed. Let's do something different today. I'm going to give you your bottom of the bun.
Okay.
So, and you're going to give me my bottom of the bun, which is,
oh, I like that.
Isn't that like something different, right, for the holidays?
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that Dr. Tiffanie is bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. What most of the time, I mean, probably one of the most uh, I think she's even more positive than me, which I don't know if that's possible. But if there is someone who is as and more, it would be you, Dr. Tiffany.
Well, thank you. Was it Shay Shay?
Yeah.
And I would say for Dr. Marissa, I really love your energy. I believe if you could bottle that stuff up and sell it, we would be trillionaires, not millionaires, not billionaires, but trillionaires. Because if you follow her on Instagram, I don't always have a chance to like everything because when it pops up, it pops up and it goes away. I mean, she is always running and doing something, and she is a ball of energy. And I am just like in awe of all of the stuff she has her hands in and the energy she has and she's exuding when she is carrying out those duties.
Yeah. Yeah. I had someone say to me that I wasn't a hurricane. I was what's another natural
A
disaster?
tsunami?
No, the other one. Hurricane? No. I'm a cyclone in the middle of a hurricane or something where there was not just one but two. So I took it as a compliment. I appreciate that you are very generous. You're like very giving your time, your attention, your you helping people. Again, way more than me. So that's my projected appreciation on you.
And I appreciate the fact that you show genuine interest in people and their stories. And that is what makes you an excellent interviewer because you cannot fake that. You can't fake the funk. And
Mm.
so I really appreciate the fact that when you go in, you are sincere in your approach and in your questions, and they're very thought out and they're very intellectual.
Mm. Shit. I kind of like this version of taking the breakfast sandwich. Oh, let's look at the peanut gallery here. Edith is here from LinkedIn. Thanks for joining us. You've been a great support all week. And I'll take that as both of us are a real talent. This one, she's saying tornado. You're right. That is the one. I am a tornado in the middle of a hurricane. It's TH. I got to remember that now. But Edith, thank you so much. And please feel free to put your own. I'll say I appreciate Edith because she is so open to learning. She just loves, she's my big brother, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith, will say, you're an open cup. Because I used to thank him so much. And he goes, no, I could say something, but unless your cup is turned upwards, you cannot receive it. So I'm going to say I appreciate it is a open cup and ready to be poured into. So.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And then for Dr. Tiffanie, I appreciate your pivoting to, you have gone through some tough stuff. And I can't even imagine, spending so much time in medical school to get the OBGYN and all of that only to be cut short. I mean, how many years did you practice before you had the fall?
I practiced for almost 20 years. And it was rough because they retired me in 2019 and I graduated in 2000. And I'm coming up on my 25th reunion next year at Meharry. And I'm on the reunion committee because I want to try to do my part because that's who I am. And so it was really hard because I fought being retired. I was actually telling somebody the story 2 days ago. I really fought being retired because everyone is like, "Oh, you're so young. Isn't it great?" I said, "It's great now." But initially, I did not want to be retired because after going through medical school and going through residency, and they are not nice to you in residency, people. The stuff you see on TV, that is candy coating. It's rough in residency. And when I went through my internship, that was before they had the laws that cut back how many hours you could work. Imagine sleeping in a chair for an hour. You didn't get a bed. Interns did not have a bed to sleep in. You slept in the lounge for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, if that, between patients, and you worked your patootie off. And as I labored, it was a labor of love because it's something I loved doing, and I did not want to give it up.
Yeah, yeah. I can't even imagine. And I also can't, I'm so glad to hear there's laws against it now, but I can remember because my original track was MD and did all the undergrad, signed up to get into that track, and then spent a lot of time in the hospital because my guy had leukemia. And so I spent a lot of time in the hospital watching him die. And so I went, I'm not doing that. But I did it. I knew that I may not have been able to survive that road to do all that crazy stuff. And then with so little sleep, you're doing like serious life work. Like I'm surprised that there weren't more things, that could have gone wrong. But
well, the good news is that you were always supervised. So you didn't get sleep, but other people, the people supervising you had sleep. They had beds and they were well rested. It's just that, they always say crap falls downhill. And remember, you're downhill. So the people who were supervising you and training you had sleep. But now there are laws and residents get sleep, and even doctors, depending on if they're a solo practitioner, they get rest. And I think that's better overall for patient care and for everyone. So
for sure,
we live in a much better society medically.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay. One more appreciation. I appreciate that Dr. Tiffanie is a great cook. I have been just so thinking about that peach cobbler. I think I had peach cobblers dancing in my dreams last night. I've been really hitting hard in the gym this morning. I did like 43 minutes instead of 40. I'm going to try to starve not eat very much so that I can non-guiltily enjoy your cooking. I appreciate your talent in the kitchen. I make a lot of reservations, so I'm not sick.
Well, and I appreciate Dr. Marissa's willingness to try new things, because sometimes people are like, I don't want to try that. I'm too picky. I'm not sure I want to taste it. But she was willing to try different things, even my pie, which does have rave reviews, I might add. But she is open to eating new things, trying new things, and giving advice, because I remember when Nathaniel, Mia, and we went out of town and she gave us a recommendation for a fabulous, delicious restaurant, and we absolutely loved it.
Which
So
one was that?
that was the one up in, I believe, San Francisco. Yes, yes.
Lounge
And
for
it
the
was so good, yes. And we
yeah.
love our seafood. So she has great taste buds, I might add. If she recommends a restaurant, you should try it. Just saying.
If you go out and eat with me, it only takes one time for you to then trust me to order for you for the rest of your life.
Because some people have bad taste buds. I will admit, some people are like, no, I can't trust you and your taste buds. You're a little off. But no, her taste buds are on the up and up.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm on the seafood diet. When I see food, I eat it. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't going to do that joke, but you said seafood, so it's your fault. Oh, and that is it for breakfast with Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate
on Doctors in the House holiday version Today on Take My Advice, I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. I hope that you, without or without me, are going to continue this good life habit, this hashtag discipline that starts your day in the most positive way. It's the cheapest way, too, to change your life so that you begin to train your mind to focus on what is good in your life instead of saying life sucks. All right. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day. What is it, Dr. Tiffanie?
Holidays. We're talking about holidays. Holidays. Holidays.
That is the first time I've heard you hit that low register there.
Yeah, I can be a bass too.
Wow, because it's all about the bass. All right, we're gonna talk all kinds of things. I'm gonna list a couple of topics that I want to hit, so you'll remember for me. Holiday traditions, different holidays. You mentioned that earlier. Things that we want to leave in this year past, so that it's not a resolution necessarily, but BS belief systems that we want to consciously leave in this year past, so that we can start the year forward. I think the holidays are great, kind of that reset button, delete the browser cookies, hard reset or soft reset, so that you really mark it as a chance to renew. So those are my topics. Yours?
I'm similar to what you want to talk about. I want to focus on some of the different holidays that people celebrate and some of the traditions that we appreciate and have grown to love. And I think that it will just help us really understand one another a little bit better and appreciate one another.
Sounds good. Why don't you take it away? Kwanzaa. I've had someone, was it you last year, that explained Kwanzaa, or maybe it was Akuyo Gray, my satellite sister, but I didn't grow up with it, so I'm not as familiar. So why don't you do like a good abridged little mini class on that?
Okay. So, Kwanzaa is not a religion. I repeat, Kwanzaa is not a religion. That is one of the biggest misnomers and misconceptions about Kwanzaa. Lots of people celebrate Kwanzaa and they're like, oh, I don't believe in Kwanzaa. Well, that's fine. You don't have to believe in it because it is not a religion. That's number one. And it starts the day after Christmas. And basically, it focuses on 7 principles, and it's called the Nguzo Saba, and it's spelled Nguzosaba. And when I learned the 7 principles, I learned them as a song, and it goes Nguzo Saba, Umoja Kujichagulia, Ujima, Ujama, Nia Kumba Imani. And those are the 7 principles. And Umoja stands for unity. Umoja stands for unity. And so we always think about our need to strive and maintain unity in the family, community, and nation, and among all the different races. And then there's Kuji Chagulia, which is self-determination. And this is to define ourselves, to name ourselves, and create and to speak for ourselves. And then there is Ujima, collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our community together and be responsible for one another and to solve problems together. Ujama, cooperative economics, to build and maintain ourselves, our own stores, our businesses, and to profit from them together. Then there is Nia, purpose. We should all find our purpose in life. And this is collectively building and developing our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Okay. Then there's Kuumba, creativity, to do always as much as we can to leave for our community a better and more purposeful and more beautiful area than we inherited it. And then there is Imani, which means faith, to believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, and our teachers, and our brothers, and our leaders, and to try to make the world a better place. So, based on these principles, you want to just improve yourself, improve your society, improve your family, and improve your community. And then there are the candles. There are usually red candles to the right, green candles to the left, and the black candle in the middle. And that is the Umoja candle, the unity candle. And the black candle is lit first. So that's you want to always be united first, and then you'll alternate from side to side.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I've never, do you practice it?
I don't necessarily practice it. I have celebrated it a few times. Now, when you practice it, you give a gift, one gift a day, like on the 26th, the 27th, 28th, 29th, and it culminates on the last day, which is like New Year's Eve.
That's so cool. That is so cool. Edith loved your singing there. And I ran back. I forgot to have my refreshment. So I ran back to do your applause. But it's interesting that the gift giving is the common thing between Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa. I didn't realize that there was a gift giving. And now something is so weird that I'm familiar with Hanukkah because my mom was unofficially adopted by a Russian Jewish woman. And so I would do high holidays and stuff like that, which is kind of funny because I know I don't look Jewish, but I have an Uncle Moishe, Aunt Ethel, Aunt Penny. So that's kind of funny. But so Hanukkah, the lights, also gifts, and Christmas, the gifts. Do you know why it's called the 12 days of Christmas?
You know why it's called the 12 days of Christmas?
Yeah. Why? What is the 12 days of Christmas? I have never looked this up. Like we talk about the 12, and the song, na, 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 but why is it called the 12 days of Christmas? Like what day does that start? Is it the 12th day before Christmas? So I'm looking it up.
Oh, well, what I found was it says that it refers to the 12 days following Christmas Day in the Christmas tradition, and it ends on January 6th, which is the feast of the Epiphany, when the three wise men are said to have visited the baby Jesus, essentially marking the period between Jesus's birth and the arrival of the Magi, which is interesting because we pick December 25th as the arbitrary day to celebrate the birth of Christ, but we know that it likely happened sometime in the spring.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Well, yes, that's what the research has shown, is that his birth wasn't necessarily at the time that we celebrate Christmas, but in the tradition of how things go in retail sales, that always plays a significant part into how we do things. And that has kind of changed how we observe everything, because you have to fall in line and make people money.
Yeah. It's really, anyways, I'm going to focus on the positive traditions and the positive things that we can do. Family traditions around Christmas. In Chinese, in my family, Christmas, we would do hoko, which is hot pot. We do it at Christmas and Chinese New Year, which is, people may know it as shabu shabu, which is the Japanese version, but the original version is called hoko or hot pot. And it's a boiling water in the middle of your table, and then all raw foods that you have. Everybody has a chopstick and a little mesh. I meant to go get it to put the food in, and then you cook it in the water, and then you bring it back, and you have 13 different spices or different sauces that you start and mix it first. So you obviously soy sauce, oyster sauce, chili sauce, vinegar. Some people put Worcestershire sauce or black bean sauce, a garlic chili sauce. Try to go.
You're making me hungry.
Sesame paste, peanut butter paste, garlic, onion, ginger, and there's wine, like yeah. So there's 13. That was my family tradition. That's a way to cook together, which I think is kind of cool. So when my kids come after Christmas, because they're spending Christmas with their dad's side, their auntie is not doing well with cancer, so they're coming after, but that's what we're going to do. Instead of ham, we're going to do hot.
Yeah. So this Christmas, we spice it up and we change it up. Sometimes we do tamales. Sometimes we do barbecue. And I believe this year we're going to do barbecue. But on a side note, I don't know who's listening. Hopefully they're not. I didn't send them the link. I have had a special request to make tamales. So I may not be bringing them. We'll see when I get those made. I don't know if I'm going to make them before Christmas or after Christmas, but I've had a special request to make tamales.
For tomorrow?
I don't know if I'll get them made tomorrow. We'll see how today goes.
Okay.
So if I make a couple, I'll smuggle you a couple, but I'm not bringing them in the house because I'm not making that many. I'll be in the kitchen all day. So there's going to be too many people. They're eating barbecue at the house. If there are tamales, they won't be my tamales. But yes, I usually make chicken tamales and pork tamales, and they are delicious.
Yeah, I didn't grow up with Mexican food at all. I grew up in a little town, Germantown, in Canada, and people here obviously love Mexican food, and I don't like beans, and I'm allergic to cilantro, so it really is a little difficult. But tamales, I remember when I was consulting with the County of LA in the Office of Affirmative Action, the director at the time, Pastor, brought these tamales that I have been looking for ever since. And that was probably 30 years ago. They were so good. And to this day, I haven't had any close to it. Every time I see tamales, I'm like, I remember that taste, but not close. But I'm sure that the smuggled one will be as good. I'll finally have the same taste. But we are halfway through already. The show always goes so quickly. So we're going to take a break for news, traffic, and weather, and for the sponsor of this show. Don't go away. We're going to be right back in 2 and 2. Chuck Woolery, remember him in The Love Connection. I would say dating game is The Love Connection. But I, say peace in and peace out. Don't go away. We'll be right back here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on our very special holiday series for Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Hello. Hi. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'm Dr. Tiffanie Tate, and I want you to pick up one of my books. You can pick them up from Barnes & Nobles or on Amazon. I have Money Matters. It teaches children how to save, tithe, and invest. It's a story about three brothers who find a $100 bill on their way home, and they don't know what to do with it until they talk to their mom. Then there is Bad Touching. This book teaches children how to protect themselves. You want to get this book for your child, your friend, your niece, your nephew, or any relative that you know. Then there is Little Engine Mia Sings. This book is also available as an audiobook. You can pick this up from Barnes & Nobles or on Amazon, and it teaches children about bullying, how to speak up and speak out. Feel free to visit my website at www.drtiffanitate.com, drtiffanitate.com. Have a blessed day, have a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, CNBC News, and NBC Sports station, the station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my YouTube TV channel that houses all 1,294 shows over the last 660 consecutive weeks. But who's counting? But we're so glad you're here. It is a holiday special for Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
And so happy to have, we've got an active cashew gallery, as I call it, instead of a peanut gallery. Vanessa Johns is here. Good morning to you, Tiffanie. I think this is one of your sorority sisters, is my guest. Yes. And then Edith is here talking about all the food we've been talking about. And then she did say it was surprising information about Kwanzaa. So we're so glad that you are all here on this holiday special. We've been talking about different other holidays and sort of the origins of that, and then our own family traditions. So I just gave you the food that we have. Dr. Tiffanie is hoping that no one that's going to the party is hearing about
the sneak tamales
that I'm going to have. And we're so glad that you're here. So let's see, what else did we, oh yes, the BS that we want to leave behind. So the belief systems, because the holidays are sort of marking the end and the transition into the new. So it's a chance to, reflect. I know that some of my friends actually do like a ceremony where they write things that they burn, or they, write letters to themselves, or fill out like a vision board for the new year, and then all those things that you want to leave behind on paper and rip it up. So those are some of the ways that you can do that. And the exercise to create or to examine and then identify those BS that you want to leave behind, the belief system. So, Dr. Tiffanie, is there anything that you would like to leave behind?
Well, as for me, I am going to leave behind self-doubt. And I know it is a struggle because everybody's going to doubt themselves at one point or another. But I believe that you can try to focus on the good. And that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the power of positive thinking. And I always replay some of our older shows that we've done in my mind. And I use that to play it forward, essentially, and consider, okay, where am I now? Where was I then? And where do I want to be? And I begin to formulate the goals as to where I want to see myself and where do I want to project myself, and utilize that power of positive thinking. And as far as writing things out, I think it is good to do that, but I love to write things out in my memo section of my phone, because if it's on a piece of paper, I'm gonna be like, "Where did I put it? I don't know." And I'd like to be able to look back and see the growth and see, okay, this is where I was on this date at this time. And in my memo section of my phone, I can be like, "Okay, this is what I was thinking, and here I am now." And whether it's a year, 5 years, 10 years, it'll be a good reflection point.
Yes. I'm going to leave behind and this was a huge one. I'm just like, my whole life, even though I'm ageless, but we've been alive for a little while. Let's just put it that way. And the one thing that I've carried with me for such a long time is the principle of the unfairness when people come at me and I've done nothing to deserve it. And
Mhm.
I have that principle button on me. So if I've done something to you and I deserve your reaction or your attack because I've done something to you. But when I've done nothing to you, why would you come at me? And so it hits that principle button of the it's not fair, how dare you? And it's also known as righteous indignation, right? And you have a right to be pissed. You have a right, and it just happened, just completely out of the blue, a couple of the days ago, and someone came at me, and I was just like in shock because I rarely see her, and I have no clue that she felt that hatred against me, and I've done nothing to her, but she just, it's her stuff, and I used to get so bothered by that. And this year, I would like to um, put that button on the shelf because I I don't want to lose my balance because someone else has. I'm not saying that I'm going to say, "Oh, yay, come at me more," tell me how much you hate me. Like, not that. But I was so proud of myself that I did not um, go back at her. I just, I'm not putting myself in that situation anymore, which is kind of sad, but I'm not going to rail and, how dare they? How, or that semi victim thing of, I didn't do anything. Why would you do that to me? Because, people do the very best that they can. And obviously they're in pain somewhere. And I don't need to take that on as unfairness or righteous indignation. And so I'm really hoping that this year I'm able to do that. So I was able to do it like 88% when this happened a couple days ago, but I'd like to get like closer to 100 because
Mhm.
it's only hurting me when I'm righteously indignant.
Absolutely. I think it's important to not give other people control. And I think it's beautiful that you did not give anybody control. And I think for me, I'm going to remember that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and I am enough. I don't need validation from anyone else but myself. I don't need likes from anyone else other than myself. It's great to have friends. It's great to be loved. But the most important person who needs to love me is me. And I think that understanding that and appreciating that and walking in that is going to make 2025 a fabulous year. And I think leaving behind the judgment of others and trying to let that mold me and shape me is going to help me rebound and resonate a future that I can enjoy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Cashew Gallery comments here. Vanessa's talking about vision boards. I haven't made one in years. And okay. And then also the feeling, I think you're referring to the one that I was just bringing up, that righteous indignation, and it bugs me and keeps me from sleeping. Yeah. I used to be so wrapped up in it. I'm a lot better, but I used to be so wrapped up in it that I would like stay up all night writing the perfect response of how I was going to change their mind, or or say something mean or whatever, and I wouldn't sleep. And I, like you're saying, keeps you from sleeping, which is kind of like
But I think it was good that you wrote it out, because once you wrote it out, even though you didn't send it, you felt better. And I always call it like verbal vomit, because it's just sitting inside of you, making you sick. Whether you type it, whether you write it, it's good to get it out and get it on paper. Now, you don't have to send it to the person, but sometimes it's good to get those feelings up and out of your body, and you will feel better once it's outside of you. And once it's outside of you, you can then sleep peacefully. Now, again, don't send it to the person. I'm not saying instigate and keep it going. I'm just saying get that nauseated anger feeling out of you, and that sense of relief will overtake you. Because Dr. Marissa, once you got all the negativity up and out of you, were you then able to go to sleep?
Of course. And I hit save draft. That is my friend. Save draft button is always my friend. And I don't send anything unless I have been sleeping on it for 24 hours. That's a rule that I instigated probably like 10 years ago. And it's really saved my assets in more ways than one. So yes, absolutely. We have to be human around it. I'm not saying that, again, I didn't go, oh, come at me some more. I expressed, I called two close mouths friends to just vent and then get it out, because we can't do the bypass, right? I'm fine, I'm fine. You know what fine stands for, right? Effed up, irrational, neurotic, and emotional. We don't want to do that. Feel it, but then don't keep marinating or ruinating, is how I call it, in it, because then it's totally messes you up. It's the same thing as resentment, right? That saying resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. My version of that is I don't like you. I don't want to look at you, so I'm going to poke out my own eye so I don't have to look at you, which is kind of silly.
Absolutely. And I think it's important to feel what you're feeling and express yourself. But again, don't instigate the situation, whether it is your partner, whether it is your children, whether it is your parents. Get it out. But again, save draft. That's key. Save draft. Or even if you're writing it on a piece of paper, stick it in an envelope, seal it, and stick it in a drawer. And think about it, pray on it, meditate on it, but don't keep it going. We're about to turn over a new lease on life, and you just want to try to improve yourself. And always say, is this going to make the situation better? And I always take this rule of thumb. I don't argue with adults. It's a waste of breath, and you're never going to get that breath back, and you're never going to get that time back. So I'm also not going to be a doormat either. And you have to decide what it is that you want out of life. And is it worth fighting for? Everything isn't worth fighting for.
Yeah. When to hold, when to fold. That habit of being not just a doormat, but wall-to-wall carpet, because you just want to make everybody happy. That might be something you want to leave behind. The most important person to be happy is you first and foremost. And then when you are happy, you can help other people be happy. But if you're not happy, the buck stops right there. And that's one of the things that I learned one year was it's God, self, and then others. I had been living, well, for a time with others and self, and then no God, and then, but it's God. And then the thing that I think religion sometimes kind of leads us to a point where it's only important to serve others. And then we get to that point of exhaustion or suffocation because you're not doing oxygen first for yourself. And so that might be something. I know I'm thinking of a client right now that I do happiness coaching with, and that's her, leave behind. She knows that she can like spend the next 30 years like she spent the last 30 years helping everybody but herself, and then getting resentful because nobody's saying to her, why don't you take a load off? Why don't you just relax? Why not? Because she's trained them to expect her to do everything. And so that self-love is so, so, so important.
Yes. And I want to tell the listeners about one word. It's really short. No. N-O, no. And it requires a little bit of action because you have to use it. And it's okay to use it. It really is, especially during this holiday season. When you are tired, you can say, Dr. Tiffanie said, they can come and get me. I'm okay. No, N-O, I need rest. No, I need a break. No, not right now. And that's a good one. No, not right now. Because it's not no, never. It's just no, not right now. Sometimes people need to get up and do for themselves. You don't have to be the savior of the world. You can be the savior for yourself here on earth right now because you need your rest. We're celebrating Christmas. We're celebrating the birth of Christ. We're celebrating family. We're celebrating love. We're celebrating friendship. But we're not celebrating your exhaustion. We don't need to work you to death. So I want you to use one word. No. N-O, no. Not right now. And that means that they have to wait. And it's okay.
Yeah. Vanessa has a great comment here. It's taken me 67 years to learn what it means to pick your battles, and it's okay. You're learning. You got plenty of life to when to hold and when to fold, because it is definitely a great way to have a happier life. And that's, I'm on a happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years, and so it is truly. Wonderful when people begin to discover that they are the boss of them, that they really are the ones that are to learn how to approve of yourself and love yourself and soothe yourself so that it really doesn't matter what people think of you. That's a huge, if you can do that this year. So that requires you to sit down and say, who am I? And what do I want? And if you haven't done that, here's my holiday gift for you, is an audiobook copy of 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are. I'm grateful. It hit number 1 Amazon and a national bestseller thanks to Denver Post and Tattered Covers Bookstore. And I so want, that's my Christmas wish. That's my grown-up Christmas list. That song that I sang a couple weeks ago is that everyone would find within themselves the ability to approve and love and care about themselves 88% of the time. Because that, my friends, is the formula for world peace. That's why I say peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. And if we can be okay with ourselves and not feel like we are only important if we're saving others or cooking for others or helping others. Help yourself first. And then, because that's what life is. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be creative and joy, not sacrifice. Who the fork said that life was all about sacrifice and service? Sorry. I'm not talking about hedonism. I'm talking about balance.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I would say, as a Christian, Jesus died on the cross for me. So I don't need to climb up on the cross and sacrifice myself. It's already been done. And
Get off
again,
the cross, we need the wood.
absolutely. The word is no. No, not right now. Only take on what you can and what you feel up to. Don't let people use you. People will, because by nature, people are all about me. We live in a me society and the selfie society. Everybody wants something right now, and everybody is concerned about themselves. But let me tell you something. You need to be concerned about yourself and your rest, and you need to not get used up because you have a lot of life to live and you don't want people sucking the life out of you, because I call them energy vampires, and they will suck it right out of you if you allow them to. The word is no. No. Activate it, utilize it, and enjoy your holiday season.
Then that is the final word from my co-host, Dr. Tiffany Tate. I am also going to join and wish you a yes on the balance side, a yes to you, and remembering that you are loving, lovable, and loved, and wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness to enjoy your life. This is Dr. Marissa and
Dr. Tiffany Tate.
in Doctors in the House, wishing you the very, 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 very best holiday season ever.
Yes. Happy Merry Christmas. What is it? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you all in the Cashew Gallery for your wonderful interaction today, and knowing that we are always here to support each other with love, peace, joy, and happiness. Thanks for joining us.